noticing woke people are becoming like creationists. I don't know how many of you remember Ray Comfort and Venom Fag X, but they would try to use pseudoscience to prove that the Earth is 6,000 years old and that God made the shape of the banana in order to fit in a human's hand. Those of you who remember what I'm talking about know, but basically, creationists, when you engaged with them and you basically told them it's like, no, what you're saying from a scientific point of view is wrong. Like, you can have faith in religion because you have faith, like, that's fine. But if you try to, like, scientifically prove religion, like, here are the holes you're missing. And what they would do is, like, they would just ignore the counter argument and then, like, reassess their claim, pretending like they've never heard the counter argument. And so, the reason I'm saying woke people are becoming like that is because every single month or so, you have the same conversation about eating with your hands versus eating with a knife and fork. And they will conclude that, well, actually, white people are hypocrites because we get to eat with our hands as well. And we're just, like, trying to be oppressive to other cultures. We're just trying to be bigoted in order to make other cultures feel lesser. While other cultures, like, really understand how eating is about. Like, they're more pure. They're more normal to eat with your hand. And we actually, like, come to this conversation again and again, and even though we explain the difference, they still pretend not to understand. So I'll try one more time. You know, like, I will explain one more time why sometimes white people eat with their hand versus why other times we eat with the knife and fork. But before I even do that, I want to point out that simply not being able to explain something doesn't mean that the thing is wrong. Okay? Like, this is something leftists need to understand. If I can't explain why putting your fingers in the electric socket is bad, that doesn't necessarily mean that you should do it. Okay? Just not being able to provide the explanation doesn't mean that there isn't a sense on why the rule exists. Anyway, going back to the food. When do we eat with our hands and when do we eat with utensils? If the food is greasy, you fucking morons, okay? Like, if the food, like in this situation, right, you're eating rice that has grease and it sticks to your fingers, we do not use our hands because then you go around and you touch other things. You touch the door handle when you go to the bathroom. You touch the chair. You touch the table. You make a mess. It is unsanitary. It is not pleasant to behold. Even people from other cultures most likely do not like to see a white shirt with stains of grease on it. This is something inherently human, okay? Like, most people understand what dirty means. A white shirt with stains is not presentable, and if it can be avoided, it should be avoided. And so, anything that leaves stains on the finger with sauce, with grease, with anything like that, should be consumed with utensils. On the contrary, stuff that doesn't leave anything on your hand, like for instance a hamburger, a sandwich, a chocolate chip cookie, an apple. These are things that we can use our hands because they do not dirty our hands. It's not fucking rocket science. And it doesn't even need explaining. It's something like most people intuitively know. Like, you look at the food and you realize, oh, okay, I can actually eat this with my hand. It's fine. Like a hamburger, a hot dog. If you see salad, you're not going to swoop your hand into it because you're going to make a mess. And again, it's not sanitary. Other people do not want to touch your stuff. But the idea that it's like this is a conspiracy that white people did in order to dominate other cultures. Asian people do it, okay? They have chopsticks. They don't have spoons and forks. Notice how, like, white people do not criticize Asian people for using chopsticks. No one is upset that, oh my goodness, like, look at how the Japanese are eating. Now, sure, you know, like, you may make a remark, it's like, well, it's difficult to use chopsticks, like, a fork is more better. And by the way, like, most of the Japanese usually agree, right? Like, they're just used to eating with chopsticks. But, like, I know Japanese people that come to Europe And because we have different foods that aren't easy to eat with a chopstick, they use a knife and a fork. This is not, right? Like, it's just common sense. Like, this is not one culture trying to dominate the other. Now, here's the interesting part. And this is where it baffles the brain of the leftist. There are other cultures out there that didn't have, like, the logistics, the technical know-how, the manpower in order to mass produce tools. Right? Like, seriously, there are, like, people that even now, like, undiscovered tribes, okay? They do not know where to go and how to mine metals from the earth and then smelt them and then mass produce them into knives and forks into such high numbers that every single household gets one. Okay? And because of that, they eat with their hands. But they're not doing it because, like, they like it. They do it because they have no choice. And there are other countries where, yes, like, knives and forks are expensive. And so, like, people eat with their hands, or they have, like, instruments made out of wood. The reason Europeans do it is because we can afford to, and we should be grateful that we can afford to. This is not something shameful, right? So, like, when you see a man doing this, like, to me, it's not progressive, it's not forward-thinking. It is fucking barbaric. It's just as barbaric as him going into a restaurant with a naked chest, right? Like, why doesn't this guy go to a restaurant without a shirt? I mean, you know, like, maybe he wants to feel the chill air. Well, the reason is that this is now trendy to complain about, right? Like, on TikTok, the idea of eating with your hand is trendy. And it's like, oh, it's shaming white culture. And this is what's appropriate right now. But yeah, like, if he was to go to a restaurant without a shirt, like, people would comment because it's not trendy. And this is what it's all about. It's such a fake controversy, right? It's like you're looking at people and they're not complaining because they genuinely feel bothered by it. They're complaining it because this is what's popular, this is what's trendy, this is how you own the chat. It's kind of similar to manspreading. Do you notice that no one brings manspreading out? But, like, it used to be such a huge deal. It was like, oh, how men are oppressing women. And you would try to explain to those bitches. It's like, look, I have balls. They're testicles. They're orbs, right? Like, when I squeeze them together, it's painful. And so, I'm not just spreading because, like, I want to dominate your daughter and take up space. Like, I'm spreading because that's what's comfortable. But they were acting like it's this, you know, conspiracy theory by the patriarchy where all the men went together and it's like, oh, we're going to go into the subways and we're going to spread our legs and we're going to show those bitches who's boss. But the reason they were complaining is not that they were genuinely unable to see a man spreading in a subway and tell him, like, hey, can you make some room because I want to sit here? You know, like, that wasn't an issue. The issue was, like, that's what's trendy to talk about. That's what's trendy to pretend you're being oppressed. And this is literally what they're doing right now. They're basically trying to say that if you judge someone eating like this, it's bad. No, it's not bad, okay? Like, you should be able to judge people. You should be able to have standards. You should be able to impose some level of common sense and discipline. And actually, this one is one of them. Yes, like, if you come to a table at a restaurant and you eat like this, I'm never inviting you again. I don't care who you are. You know, like, this is disgusting. If I have to do business with him, I'll just not do it at a restaurant. You know, we're going to go clubbing. We're going to have something to drink. But it is disturbing, like, seeing someone eat like with their actual hand from a plate like an animal. It's no, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Unless, of course, you know, I travel somewhere and this is like a traditional way of eating in that place. But even then, I'm just not going to touch the food, right? Now, if the people generally can't afford the knife and a fork, I would understand. Like, okay, well, they're from a culture where they can't understand, where they can't afford it. That's fine. This, however, no. Let me know what you guys think, though. And as usual, I will see you in the comment section. Take care.